Your opposition contends right now that the opposite is true, that essentially by putting off, for example, levying counter tariffs, by the prime minister's display thanking the president or complimenting him on his world leadership publicly at the G7, that is in fact elbows down, counter to the elbows up message you campaigned on. How do you reconcile those things?
What is fascinating when you look at the last parliamentary session, we've just finished on Friday, is that there was nearly no question by the opposition regarding a relationship with U.S. The vast majority of the questions were not linked to it. Actually, when thinking of looking at how we can support the auto sector, they were not even referring to the trade war, much more on EV mandates, which we're working on. So what is fascinating by the opposition is when thinking of what they could have done themselves is I think they would have capitulated. I think that they would clearly have cozied up to the White House.
But that's what your government is doing right now. The Prime Minister is literally thanking the President for his world leadership at a time when the President has abandoned the U.S.'s position as a world leader.
No, I think that's
not elbows.
I think that the Prime Minister was in charge of the G7. His job was to welcome the President. He was in a very difficult position. We all know that. All G7 leaders knew that. They were actually thanking Prime Minister Carney for doing the tough job that, not a lot of them wanted necessarily at this time, but it was our year. Canada is in charge of the G7, and therefore, Prime Minister Carney was doing the diplomatic work that was required from Canada. Meanwhile, I think in the context of the G7, we're able to get to important good results. What I've seen, meanwhile, while the Prime Minister was in Kananaskis, I was in Paris at the Paris Air Show, where I saw that more than ever, countries want to do business with Canada.
I will leave it on that note. I'm out of time. I appreciate